Hi everyone. Back for another restoration project. I'm a little bit passionate about this one because she's actually my first Rushton rubber face doll. She's a white skunk from the 50s or 60s. She was Valentine's Day themed, so assuming they sold her around Valentine's Day. She came in really cute Valentine's Day packaging, but had a lot of issues. As you can see, she's very yellow. I think her eBay listing listed her as I don't even know, like the world's ugliest Rushton skunk or something. So here's the first video here. This is an assessment video. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm showing the camera all of the issues she had. All of that yellow tinge is just so much. Her entire body was yellow. She actually had her original Rushton tag, and I'm not sure if the ribbon was original. It probably isn't, considering how small it is. She has 2.5 feet. One of them fell off during cleaning, actually, so that's why I say half. She ended up having 2. She had about 1/4 of her ear left. Very limited. And then her other ear actually came in a baggie, but there wasn't much left of it. In this clip, I am struggling to cut her open. And by struggling, I mean it took me a long time, not actually because I was struggling. So yeah, basically, when you cut someone like her open, you want to go straight for the back seam. Right below the head and above the tail, there's a seam that runs down the back. I was going very slowly in this video. This video is actually like 8 minutes long of me cutting all the threads individually up and down the back to peel her open. Her stuffing is a mixture of very tiny fabric scraps and pieces of foam. Actually, probably my least favorite stuffing humanly possible. You'll see it in a minute here. It got all over the place, and it was just kind of a nightmare to work with. As far as I know, this actually really isn't super common for Rushtons. In all the other restoration videos I've seen, which I did watch basically all of them, just to make sure I was doing this correctly, most of them actually have more fabric-based stuffing. And it usually tends to discolor more with dirt and grime and stuff. So right here, I'm actually just slowly scooping all of her stuffing out into my pot that I use for dyeing and stuff. It's just a nice collection vessel to put this stuff in. I ended up dumping it into a plastic bag so it was easier to put it back in her. This actually took a while because it really liked to get stuck to the sides. Yeah, I had to pull it out of her hands and her tail, and it was not the most pleasant time, but, you know, you win some, you lose some. Now, here's something interesting happens. You'll see me pull out this metal rod covered in paper. It was super twisted and gross, but it actually was used to bend the tail into shape originally when it was stuck to the head. That thick piece of string on the back there at the top of the hole that I made. I'm assuming that's what that is. As far as I know, that kind of yarn was usually used to attach things. In modern and non-modern stuffed animals, I know with Stifes, string like that was used to secure the neck tag to the body, so it would make sense that a thick string like that would be used to attach the tail to the body. I didn't actually record the entire process because it would have taken way too long, but you get a pretty good indicator of how it went. Now, first and foremost, I want to be clear to the waste police that I did actually reuse this metal inside of her because it was not deteriorated enough for me to want to throw it away. So it is back in her tail now, fully anchored and right in position like it was supposed to be. Anyways, the rest of this clip is actually me cutting out earpieces, and I was looking at a ton of references of her and other Rushton skunks for this, and I actually made the executive decision to off-camera make a new set of ears due to some new references that I got, and I just was not liking how it looked pinned onto her. So the ears you see me make in this video are actually not the ears that end up on her in the end, but I'm keeping this video in just so you know kind of how I got there. Here are some references I used. I'll put on screen right now just for you to look at really quick, just so you know what I mean. The ears that I'm originally making this video were actually way too short, and I just did not like how they looked. So, yeah. And here I've attached some photos of the ears I actually ended up using. These are them pinned on. You will see later the actual sewn on versions. I just added the pinned version just because didn't want to spoil the end results. But yeah, right here I'm assessing the damage on the feet. As you can see, she has one less paw, or half less paw, I don't even know. It was basically hanging on by a thread. It was even listed in the listing as hanging on by a thread, so I'm not surprised that it fell off. So right here, I was having actually a little bit issue cutting on camera, so the hand you see me make here is a little ugly, and I didn't end up using it. So gross. Oh my god, it's so, it's not tall enough. Yeah, I was like throwing it out. So yeah. This is the part of restoration that's actually really frustrating. So here's actually a paw that I did like that matched the other one pretty well. This is me pinning it on, just so I didn't lose it. My desk is a little messy. Yeah, but restoration isn't all sunshine and rainbows, and while I haven't had any super crazy issues now, you always have to be ready for something that could come out of the blue. But yeah, sometimes you have to work really hard to get an end result that you're gonna enjoy, or that whoever you're working for is gonna enjoy, and that takes a lot of trial and error. I think I did the top paw about 4 times before I liked it. The bottom paw was pretty easy. But yeah, it's kind of hard to mimic someone else's work, especially if that work was done 70 years ago and it has since been a little bit softened, if you will. In this video clip, actually, we've kind of skipped past the cleaning step. And since I have it, here's a picture of her first soak. Ew. So this is actually me, sewing her back together, and as you can see here, the stuffing was a nightmare. I got as much of it in as humanly possible, and before anyone comes to me over the color of the thread I used, spoiler, it's bright green, it actually does not matter, because the stitch that I'm doing, I'm not sure if it has an official name. It probably does. Everything has an official name. But I just call it the secret stitch or invisible stitch. So this is basically the method of going down side by side and taking larger pieces in your needle. And eventually you pull it taut and it hides itself. So there might be a little bit of visible thread in the sense that, like, you know, the thread might be sticking out where you left it when you tied it off in the beginning or the end, but you can always trim it and hide it in some sort of way so it's not actually that big of a deal. So, unfortunately, sorry in advance, I did not get a lot of video on the painting aspect of this. It was just too stressful to do on camera. It ended up messing up the my right eye on the doll because I was painting it on camera. And while I was looking at it on person and not through the camera, I was still making a lot of mistakes that I ended up having to wipe away. So, you know, sometimes in restoration, you end up painting way too far over the things that you should not be painting over, and it leads to a lot of issues. So, be forewarned. Make better decisions about how you go about restoration. As you'll see in this video, I ended up wiping away the paint on the right eye after I finished, so you can see me trying to salvage it, and it was not working. So I ended up getting rid of it and starting over off camera. Also off camera, I fixed the white spot in her mouth, as you can see there. I actually painted it correctly, the right shade of red. And I also did her nose, and I'm actually still, as of recording this, working on her eyelids. There will be an update on the eyelids at the closer to the end of the video as I work on her a little bit more. For now, please enjoy some photos of her from during the process. This is before I restuffed her. This is when I was working on some of the yellow spots with some hydrogen peroxide and water and rubbing alcohol and some other stuff that I found online that actually genuinely did help, but it took a long time. Constant passes. This is a photo from behind also before she was restuffed. It's kind of showing the progress on her tail. Her tail was nasty, as you saw in the original video. I actually wanted to specify, though, that during her initial water cleaning, almost none of the yellow came off. So it was actual staining. This is after I sewed her ears on, and this is a flash photo, so her ears do not look as dimensional as they probably should. And this is also after I painted the nose, but before I painted the white spot in the mouth. So it's kind of a weird midway, but yeah. Hi y'all, just want to give a really quick last video in this thing. I usually do voiceover, but I just wanted to really quick do a rundown of everything. I wanted to show her now that she's finished. I did her eyeshadow with blue pastel. I can show you the pastel here. I used pan pastel. I used that to fix up her blush. Here, and here, then a little bit on the inside of the mouth. She looks really good. She still has slight yellowing issues, but honestly, with the amount of yellowing treatment I did to her, I really don't want to do anything more. Right now, her tail is tacked to her head. I'm not really sure how I fully want to attach it yet. Up here, I have this cute little applique, which is kind of similar to the ones that she would have had, in some iterations. This is her original heart on her head. It's pinned on right now because I'm not sure how I want to attach it, since it was originally attached with a water-soluble PVA glue, and I don't know if I want to do that again. I want to source a ribbon for her neck, but right now I just have this cute little bow. And yeah, I mean, that's basically everything. So, thanks for watching the video, and it really means a lot to me. If you like this video and you'd like to see more restoration content, or if you want something going more in-depth tutorial-wise, or talking about how to assess something for restoration or something, please let me know in the comments. I would really love to do a video like that if you're interested. Thanks. See you again soon.